everyone, it's Brittany and I am doing the Finally Fall book tag, even though we're a little bit into fall already. So I have never done a tag video before. I do really enjoy watching them though. I really like the ones that are like seasonally based. I like that a lot. So when I saw the questions for this one, I saw this in Chelsea Darling Reed's video and really wanted to do it, especially because fall is my favorite and this feels like the appropriate tag to start with. I will link Tall Tales' original video below in the description box, and let's just jump into it. Okay, the first question is, in fall the air is crisp and clear, name a book with a vivid setting. I selected The Wideness of the Sea, and part of why I chose this book is that I feel like I haven't heard many other people talk about it, but it's set in Maine, and I unfortunately have never been to Maine, and every single time the setting is described, I'm always like, what? Why have I never been to Maine? Why? That sounds perfect. It's very like, it's called The Wideness of the Sea. So there's obviously a lot of reference to the sea and the ocean. I don't know, I feel like the description of like the little small towns mixed with like the people and the ocean and everything, I just felt like it was a real mistake not visiting Maine when I lived in Boston. So that's now on the list, and this is definitely my recommendation for a vivid setting vibe. I'm so excited. Okay, number 2 is Nature is Beautiful but Also Dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but also deals with a heavy topic like loss or grief. That is most of what I read. Not necessarily about loss or grief, but I feel like most of the books I pick have a heavy topic. And the book I chose to talk about for this tag is the Book of Essie. This totally caught me by surprise. I don't know what I was expecting, but because it's all about like a reality TV show filming this highly religious family, I was a little bit like, what is going to come out of this? And that really intrigues me in itself, reality TV and like that whole experience. So I wasn't expecting how dark and deep and emotional this book became. Also, this cover is just like beautiful. So can we just take a second for the sparkles because it's so good. Went into this one not really expecting much. I had been seeing it around and thought it intrigued me enough to give it a go, and ended up really, really loving it. Sometimes when I finish a book, I feel like inspired to write about it, and so if like something comes up on my WordPress, because I don't write reviews on my WordPress for every book I read, it usually means it had some sort of impact on me, and this book was written about, so this is what I chose for that. Question number 3 is, fall is back to school season. Share a nonfiction book that taught you something new. I read a lot of nonfiction psych books, and part of that is because they've always interested me, and part of that is because it helps me stay up to date on the newest psych stuff. I also read a lot of memoirs, and occasionally I'll just pick up a nonfiction book because it intrigues me in some way. But because I love to give love to the memoirs, I'm going to talk about Okay, Fine, Whatever, because it kind of marries the two, both psych and memoir. It does a great job covering so many different aspects of the experience of anxiety, and the reason that I chose a memoir is because I think that we all have something to learn from one another, and I never walk away from a memoir without learning something. And this one in particular, there was just so much variety in the experiences of her life and things that I really am not so knowledgeable about, that I really enjoyed walking away and feeling like I knew a little bit more about what other people may experience. Highly recommend this one. This one's great. Does have a lot of like unexpected topics though, I will say. but it is helpful. You should learn about them. Number 4, and I think the hardest for me to answer by far, is in order to keep warm, it's good to spend some time with the people we love. Name a fictional family, household, or friend group that you'd like to be a part of. And this question illuminated a glaring issue in what I read, and that is that there's not many books I've read that have like a family or household or friend group that I can like picture myself a part of. The first thing that came to my head was Harry Potter, which feels right, but also was like, that's the last thing I read that I felt like had a friend group that I wanted to join, and I haven't read Harry Potter in so many years. I feel like currently the most relevant answer I have for this question, even though I haven't fully finished it yet, is A Little Life. And I feel afraid to say that just because I read a really heavy and overwhelming chapter from this morning and I had to take a little break. But I've never read a book that depicts friendships better than this book. I'm probably gonna have like a whole blog post written about this, all the Instagrams, all the videos, just because this book has impacted me so much already, and I still have a pretty decent amount to go, probably like exactly halfway at this point. But I've never seen such a beautiful depiction of friendship in the way that like I know and understand friendship. And I'm not a person that has like a ton of friends. I have like a few close friends, and to me this is like what I hope and envision my friendships to be like. So far, not knowing how this book goes on and ends, but the like care and impact they have on one another is just really significant to me. This is my choice for this answer. Number 5 is the colorful leaves are piling up on the ground. Show us a pile of fall colored spines. I have taken so many fall pictures. I'm just gonna insert them here. Number 6 is fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by the fireside. Share a book wherein somebody is telling a story. I was really excited about this one because my pick is This Is How It Always Is, and the entirety of this book isn't told by isn't like somebody telling a story, but there's a pretty good chunk of this book where the father of this family, actually this is a family that I'd also appreciate being a part of, so throwback to question number 4, this is definitely a family I would love to be a part of. I've talked about this book a few times, but I think it's highly important right now because of everything that's going on politically for transgendered individuals. Highly recommend reading this book. It's so important, so impactful. Please read this. But for this question, the father of this family throughout the book is, I think, kind of like making up a story as he goes to support all of the kids, and we'll tell them a story at bedtime every night, and you get a little snippet into that, which also leads me to feel like this book is really spectacular on audio, and I highly recommend reading it that way as well, but I also think you get something different from reading it physically. So, oh my gosh, can't recommend this book enough. I feel like it might be one of my favorites of the year, if not my favorite, so read it. Okay, number 7 is The Nights Are Getting Darker, Share a Dark, Creepy Read. I just want to recommend this till the end of time. Please read Bird Box, please. If there's anything you read this year, first read This Is How It Always Is, and then read Bird Box. Those are the 2 books you should read this year. So dark, so creepy, and the trailer just came out for the Netflix remake, and it looks freaking stellar, so I really hope they stayed true to the book because then it will be fantastic. Number 8. The days are getting colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's cold and rainy day. I will forever recommend for a quick, interesting, and easy read, Every Heart a Doorway, or the entire Wayward Children series. I think you could blow through them no problem, but I love this book so much. It like gives me all the like fantastical feelings that I could possibly get from a book, because I don't read a lot of fantasy or like different books like that. But this was like just magical enough to where I'm like, I want to be in this world 1000%. So, and it like really meets my like dark, angsty teen vibes mixed with like my desires for something different, and I don't know, all the good things. Written so well. There's 4 in the series so far now, with the 4th coming out in January, I believe. But oh my gosh, read this series. Don't just read the first one and be like, I don't know, I feel on the fence. If you feel on the fence, read the second one. Just do it. I can't push this book enough. It's so good. This whole stack has been that way, so please trust me. Okay, number 9 is Fall Returns Every Year. Name an old favorite that you would like to return to soon. I haven't read this in so long, but I remember being a teenager and feeling like I wanted to remind myself as an adult to read this again to see if my feelings had changed. And that book is Perks of Being a Wallflower. This was a longtime favorite of mine when I was younger, and I'm always curious of how I will appreciate it now as an adult. Loved the movie, loved this story, and I think that I need to return to it very soon. And it's so quick and so short, and I really enjoy it. So hopefully this tag has inspired that for me. I love this question. I love hearing other people answer it too, because then I'm like, oh, I want those things. But the question is, fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Share your favorite cozy reading accessories. I have a few. My first favorites are my book sleeves. These are the 3 that I have. This was made for me by my friend Lauren, who is Books on Her Brain on Instagram. I'll link her below. It is like the biggest one I have, and it can hold a hardback and a paperback at once. It is glorious. This was made for me by my friend Jenna, and I love it. It's so special, and it's like one of the only ones she's made, and it's perfect. It's like the perfect size, and I kept this little button here because I think it's cute. And then I ordered this one a long time ago from Book Biff. I'll leave them down below too, but it has a bunch of little coffee patterns on it. I think it's adorable. I treasure these 3 so much, and they'll probably be the only ones I have for forever. I also always like to have a candle lit. I like these little ones from Target. I like them, like the cider ones and the tree ones and the leaf ones. I think they're all like so good. And for whatever reason, this fall, I always have this blanket with me. My brother got it for me for my birthday, I think in preparation for fall. And it's just like a smaller blanket that's so cozy to like have around my head, especially when I'm reading A Little Life and I like need protection from all the feels. That's definitely been helpful to me. And the 11th question is just to tag other people. I'm not really great at that. I don't like putting that pressure on another person. So if you like these questions and you like this tag, I really encourage you to do it. I think it's a fun one, especially because fall is the best. Though I may want to do a winter one too. I like winter a lot too, okay? Those are all my answers. That's all I have for you today. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.